exactly at what helps us. So join. Okay. Okay. So what actually impacts consumer behavior? They're basically certain type of factors which actually affect a consumer and their behavior.
Two different type of goods and services that exactly consumers end up consuming. So one of the important aspects that impacts a consumer towards their behavior or influences the consumer behavior is certain type of
Cultural factors. These cultural factors can be broken up into three subcategories. One factor is actually
one component of this subculture is called as culture. The second is specifically called as subculture. So we've got culture, and then we've got subculture, and third happens to be the social class. So these are the aspects that impact uh, certain type of elements towards uh, 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 the influencing dimensions towards consumer behavior. So I will be trying to take care of certain type of aspect, a small caselet at this point of time, which is going to give you an idea of what we basically intend to be studying towards consumer markets. Um,
capitalizing on its 4 decades of experience in the agri input market. The 4,152
crore business group of DCM Shriram Consolidated Limited started Haryali Kisan Bazaar. Now, Haryali Kisan Bazaar, it's actually a rural business center. Now, when this product, that is Haryali Kisan Bazaar, so far over 270 Haryali Kisan
Bazaar outlets have been set up across the 8 states of Haryana, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttarakhand, and Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and even Andhra Pradesh.
The concept of
Haryali Kisan Bazaar evolved from the core problem of Indian farmers, the lack of the last mile delivery mechanism of modern agricultural know-how and practices.
the poor availability of quality agri inputs, the adverse effect of middlemen, costly and uncertain credit facility, limitation in market access to finished produce. Each Haryali Kisan Bazaar outlet is a one-stop solution for farmers in the catchment area of around 20 kilometers. A typical center caters to agricultural land of about 50,000 to 70,000 acres, and it impacts the life of approximately 15,000 farmers. The center facilities, they are basically round the clock support of qualified agronomists and provide a range of quality multi-brand agri inputs like fertilizers, seeds, pesticides, farm implements and tools, veterinary products, animal feed, irrigation items, and other key input like diesel and petrol at fair price, simplified credit and insurance, farm produce buyback opportunities, access to new consumer goods and durables, and even apparels. These centers treat rural customers with respect and dignity. Or at these Haryali Kisan Bazaar, the atmosphere is kept informal and customers enjoy touching and feeling the offerings without any intrusion from store personnel. Haryali Kisan Bazaar tries to delight customers by providing online support with the latest technical advancements, weather forecast, and mandi, that is mandi prices, that is the market prices. Most visits are for agricultural advice, of which around one third culminate in the purchase of some or the other agri or household product. So basically, marketing is actually about creating markets by satisfying target customers. And Effectively, how exactly you end up taking care of the needs and wants of the customer better than the competitors. This requires when you try to assess the value provided to the customer
by developing insights and targeting their consumer behavior. That is, how exactly does the consumer end up behaving, and you try to address that issue with different type of products and services to address their
needs of their value that they require, and this has to be better matched than the other competitor. Only then you basically end up analyzing your consumer as a market. So, coming down to the behavior, that is the consumer behavior, how does actually a consumer end up behaving? So, there are basically first three cultural factors, that is culture, subculture, and social classes.
so a culture basically is what
Basically determines what a person wants and what exactly is his behavior. Each culture is divided into different subcultures, and they are provided specific identification and socialization for their members. Like, for example, different nationalities, different religions, different racial groups, different geographical regions. These are subcultures, that is, cultures within culture. And virtually all human societies, they exhibit something called a social stratification, which basically forms a social class. Like, these are relatively homogeneous, and they are enduring divisions in a society. They're basically hierarchical orders within which members who share similar value, interest, and behavior can be clubbed into. Now, this is basically the first level of impact. Now, let us look at certain social factors. These social factors could be reference groups, cliques, family, role, and status. So these impact how exactly a consumer behaves. Definitely, a reference group happens to be the primary membership group.
then we have got the secondary membership group. Then these basically are impacted by the
Opinion leader. Let's say, for example, I'll give you an example, a very, very interesting example, uh, especially in the rural market per se. If you look at the agri market, so there are certain products, like, let's say, for example, if you want to go and buy or if you want to sell a farm good.
let's say if you want to sell a tractor to farmers in a village. So effectively, one of the important influencer happens to be the village headman,
The sarpanch or the zamindar. Basically, these are the people who have a
huge amount of influence over their reference group, that is the villagers which are there. So if you try to reach out to these people who exactly
create a lot of influence within their reference group, probably this sort of a social influence plays a very vital role. And if the sarpanch says that you buy a brand X, people of the village who exactly are consumers will definitely buy that specific type of a brand. So effectively, it's very important to understand which exactly is the reference group. Also, uh, you must have seen within something called as the family. There are small children within the family, or there are certain which have the pester power, and this pester power helps in creating certain type of selling certain type of goods and services. Also, if you're looking at certain type of people, especially the young educated individuals who exactly are there, certain type of technological goods are purchased by the family, seeking advice from these teenagers who basically are educated, who basically are qualified, and who exactly have certain more amount of knowledge about these technological goods than the other members of the family. Probably the father or the mother might not have that much amount of knowledge about, let's say, a mobile phone, which might be purchased by somebody, which could be so some sort of an advice could be seek from the young teenager who basically is more tech savvy,
who's much aware about this product, who exactly has a much wider knowledge about this orientation. So effectively, social factor plays a very important aspect when you come to deciding certain type of goods that you exactly want to buy. Also, once we look into the role and status, also plays an important role. Now, there are certain type of reference groups which exactly are there, which can be decided as also influencing certain type of purchase decisions. These are membership groups which exactly are primary versus secondary. There are certain aspirational groups. A person joins because this brings value or behavior which exactly an individual actually rejects. Then there is a disassociative group or an opinion leader. I will just try to take you through certain type of personal factors or age and stage in the life cycle. That also plays an important role. Um, Let me read out a small caselet to you, which is going to give you an understanding of how exactly this parameter plays an important role. Now, there's a brand called as Titan. Titan is all about the timepiece and the watches. Now, Titan, they decided to come up with a product. They decided to come up with a range of products, and this is called as the Titan Wedding Collection. Now, Titan usually launches its wedding collection across major stores during the wedding season. Now, this exactly Titan does in order to cash in on the trend of purchasing watches as wedding gifts. Titan watches are known for their style, superior design, innovation, and exclusivity, which comes with a unique promotional offer designed specifically to target the gifting market. For example, customers purchasing Titan watches during the offer period are entitled to a silver coin or a 32-piece melamine dinner set or a cosmetic gift hamper. Now, if you're looking at certain type of products that go along with watches, you might be surprised like how exactly a silver coin complements a watch, or how exactly a melamine dinner set complements a watch, or how exactly a cosmetic gift hamper complements a watch. But you must understand that uh, uh, Titan has decided to complement its product with these uh, products simply because they are deciding to cater to the wedding collection. Now, such gifts have been well received by customers during the wedding season. They're called as wedding carnival. Called as the wedding carnival, this promotional scheme is offered at all the outlets of World of Titan retail chains. Now, I will give you a figure. In 2011, in addition to 3,000 daily assured gifts, customers were offered a free mehendi or a bridal makeover at select outlets. Not only bridal makeover, probably it's just a makeover at select outlets. So technically, along with these gifts, they were offering something which is a very personalized service, like for example, Mehendi and makeover at different type of outlets. Now, this scheme was offered throughout the country, except in the cities of Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, and the four metros. Now, this was designed to enhance the purity and romance of marriage. The Titan wedding collection was priced along a wide range of rupees 995 to 17,995. So this was the range of the products. So technically, you see, it was very important to understand that when you are trying to sell a watch, Titan is all about setting the chronometers. Definitely, they decided to look into the Indian consumer market, and they tried to see that a social event like a marriage happens to be a huge potential. It creates a lot of demand for the Indian consumer. Then Indian consumer marriages and Indian consumer are different from the marriages in the different other parts of the world. So they decided to look into certain factors like what exactly goes into an Indian marriage, what is the socio-economic or the entire environment that exactly is there. So they understand that marriage happens to be a huge sense of celebration. So how do they celebrate? They celebrate with giftings. There's a lot of gifts which exactly are given out to
people, and especially the people who are getting married, as well as the family members and so on and so forth. So technically, they decide to look into this factor, and then they have complemented watches, that is called as the wedding collection for both male and female, as well as they try to come up with different type of gift hampers. Like for example, it could be a dinner set, it could be a gold coin, a silver coin, or rather a aspect like a makeover kit. Then they also complemented with certain type of uh, um, 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 arrangements which exactly happen with the different type of guests. It could be something like a makeover, or for females mehendi. Now this was complemented, and the range of the goods also was very wide for catering to the different spectrum of the consumers, ranging from about 1000 to about 18,000. So technically this is how you Titan looked into this dimension when it decided to look into the aspects of the different type of membership groups. It could be aspiration, it could be dissociative group, or it could be the different type of opinion leaders that exactly are there. Now, family of orientation and family of procreation. Again, this is again a very important aspect, and you need to understand that one is when you have there are two families in the buyer's life. Every buyer has approximately two families in their life. One is a family of orientation, which consists of his parents, siblings. From parents, a person acquires an orientation towards certain type of factors, like for example, religion, politics, economics, and a sense of personal ambition, self-worth, and love. While there's another family that exactly is there, which is called the family of procreation. Now, this happens to be a direct influence where basically it impacts the buying behavior, namely, for example, a person's spouse and children. Now, this is very different from different culture. Like, for example, in US, you got a husband and wife relationship, engagement in purchases. Both of them are responsible for engagement on the purchase of a wide variety of products and categories. A wife is usually acted upon as the main purchasing agent in a family, where basically she ends up buying the goods, utilities, food, sundries, staple clothing, etc. Now, purchasing traditional roles are changing, and the marketers would be wise to see both men and women as possible targets. Even children play a very important role when it comes to deciding on certain type of family influencers towards purchasing goods and services. Now, what influences consumer behavior? There are certain type of personal factors, like for example, age, age and stage in a life cycle. So, is it a person who exactly has just got married, or is it a person who exactly is a student, or is it a person who exactly has just taken up a job, or is it a person who exactly has just had a new member coming in, a new child, if he is married, if there's a new child which has just entered into the family. So these are the different type of life stages in a life cycle of a person, and it actually impacts as a personal factor. Then there is something called as occupation and economic circumstances. Then there are certain personality and self-person concept, and then there is something which is called the lifestyle and value. Also, there are certain key psychological processes which also plays a very important role. One of them,
Five of them are there. There is motivation, perception, learning, emotions, and memory. Now, when I'm talking about certain type of aspects which exactly go into designing different type of behavioral elements, that is the key psychological processes, I will be talking about a certain type of marketing environment and stimuli which basically influence a consumer's consciousness, and a set of psychological processes which combine with certain consumer characteristics, resulting in a decision process towards the purchase decision. Now, there are certain key psychological processes, like, for example, the motivation, perception, learning, emotion, memory, and fundamentally they influence the consumer's response. I'll be taking a very small caselet at this point of time. This is a very interesting brand. This is called as Axe Deos and perfumes. Now, Axe launched in India in 1999. It's actually a global brand available in more than 60 countries. Axe has consistently strengthened its image of a cool, iconic youth brand to become the number one male deodorant in India. So effectively, if you're looking at the segment that Axe is trying to cater to in the Indian consumer, that exactly is the male deodorant market. Now, the scent of Axe has been created by Anne Gotem, an international diva of fragrances. So they decided to rope in somebody called as uh, an international uh, diva of fragrance, that is Anne Gotem, and the international who was earlier associated with Revlon. So this uh, fragrance specialist was earlier associated with a brand called as Revlon, and Axe decided to rope in towards designing the different type of scent and perfumes. The formulation of the product includes an aromatic base, which is expected to be more efficient. Hence, the brand claimed that Axe helps in enduring the appeal of the user. So, Axe was an understated brand and was positioned as the magnet for the fairer sex. The deodorant market in India was estimated to be around 900 crores in 2011, with men's deodorant accounting for just 70% of this. Its size is likely to treble in the next 5 years, and Axe has 8 different ranges and are supplied by high voltage emotions like instinct, temptation, pulse, denim, uh, click, and touch. So effectively, when emotions are branded, they're branded in the different type of high voltage emotions, which exactly are catered to the male youth towards seeing acts as a motivator for uh, connect the with his counterpart. Now, basically, if you're looking at the high voltage emotions, they can be classified as instinct, which exactly happens to be the different type of brands, which exactly sub brands, which basically act tries to come up with this perfume. So you have the instinct range. There is something a range which is called as the temptation range. There is a range which is called as pulse. There's a range which is called as denim, click, and touch. Now, this is how key psychological processes play when you decide towards connecting with the outside marketing stimuli and the ultimate purchase decision. So motivation, perception, learning, emotions, and memory, they basically fundamentally influence the consumer's response. Now I'm going to be coming up with another type of a product. Now, this is actually going to be an industrial product. Another caselet that I'm going to be discussing right now, this exactly is called as the industrial product. And then we will be looking at a certain type of. Now, this is called as this is an industrial product. This is called a steel junction. Now, steel junction, it's tempting offer on occasions of the different type of anniversary, the different type of products that steel junction make. In order to encourage the discerning consumers to go steel shopping, Tata Steel, they entered the section of organized retail of steel products made from steel from the launch of their 23,000 square retail store under the brand Steel Junction in Kolkata. So in Kolkata, they have come up with a brand called a Steel Junction. That is, they Tata Steel. They decided to come up with different type of products, which actually steel products, which actually are consumed by consumers. They're not used by B2B market, but B2C market. So it houses a wide variety of products from the steel. That is now that there are wide variety of products from the steel. Now the categories of steel can be mild steel, alloys, stainless steel, and these are the four basically different type of department. A home construction solution is also there that has things like steel rebars or Tata Tiscon, bathroom and door fittings, stainless steel railings, hardware like hammers, spanner, lighting, locks, garden tools, and electric lawn mowers. They are sold there. A furniture department is also there that includes indigenous and imported steel furniture, a kitchenware and styling lifestyle department that terms like cutlery is there, jewelry is there, decorative piece and other items, that steel modular kitchens are also sold in this section. And they also take care of holistic kitchen storage solutions, different type of storage solutions in the kitchen in the recent year. The concept has been expanded to include customized products for offices and public spaces. Like, for example, you have the steel filing cabinet, the steel almirah, and so on and so forth. This pioneering concept was developed through the series of brainstorming sessions on the format, the product mix, the partners, and research involving both end consumers as well as the trade. The ambience of the shop encourages family, women to step in and get involved in the process of buying hardware. So they have tried to see that one of the important components of the consumers that basically happens to be the key influencers is the women folk, because she would be buying certain products like the kitchenware or the modular kitchen, or is an important influencer. But there are certain type of categories where basically male inputs are there, like for example plumbing fixture, hand tools, something which is still not popular in the India. The
Excuse me, sir. Sir, you're not audible. Yes, sir, you're not audible.
Sir, your voice is not coming.
सर आपकी ध्वनि तरंगें हम तक रीच नहीं हो रही हैं।
Hello.
Yes, sir. Now you're audible.
Really sorry for this small amount of glitch because of certain bandwidth. The connection got dropped and we had to have a small delay in connecting. In fact, really sorry for this small glitch.
This is some of the perils of online classes, where basically the network sometimes drops because of some sort of a network issue. Um,
I'm really sorry for the situation that happened. We were discussing the aspect towards the caselet that is called as Steelicious or Steel Junction, tempting offers on the occasion of an anniversary of buying any sort of a steel product. Can you hear me, all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. We
I
can.
need a voice confirmation. Thank you
Yes,
very
sir.
much, Varisha.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now, coming back to the same caselet that we were discussing, I would just try to tell you that this is a
Steel Junction was an initiative
to cater to the consumer segment about the different type of industrial goods, which basically goes down into general utility goods for the entire family. It ranges from
kitchenware to modular kitchens to furniture to steel jewelry to steel cutlery to even hardware, which exactly is used in homes.
as well as the different type of steel products which are customized into different type of furnitures and different type of lifestyle and kitchenware solutions, which exactly was an initiative started by the Tata Steel when it decided to come up with the steel junction in Kolkata. And this exactly is a place where exactly an entire family can go for an outing to purchase different type of products and services, steel products and services for their entire house. This basically certain type of information that exactly is used to reinforce their purchase decision happen to be books, journals, magazines of various grades of steels, their usages, and so on and so forth. Also, the presence of a cafeteria within a store
Provides the right occasion for the entire family to take a refreshing break in the midst of intense shopping. Now, this was launched in 2005. Steel Junction has been generating a footfall around 350 customers per day.
Now, the success of this unique initiative reflects the customer company's utility to anticipate the responding change of preferences and lifestyle of customers. So, effectively, if you looked at the different type of orientation of customers buying different goods for their houses, like for example, if you've ever visited or the product, like there's a brand called as IKEA stores where basically it's a DIY, do it yourself furniture store. That is, you walk into the store and you take down the entire furniture that you want over there, which is generally utility based furnitures for your entire houses. It could be a dining table, it could be a dressing table, it could be a bed, it could be a study table, it could be a folding almirah or even a shoe rack. You can basically assemble it by a DIY concept. That is, it's not like you require a carpenter to put up a furniture, but you can bring down this furniture and you can definitely have this sort of a furniture assembled, self-assembled. So it's the joy of putting in the product yourself. So your association in the in the entire utilitarian output of the furniture makes a very important aspect towards this product. So effectively, the role of consumers into this important aspect is also a very important orientation when it comes to different aspect. Now, another product where basically we would be looking at a certain type of aspects is when you design a product on the basis of a consumer's mindset. That is you try to see what exactly goes in the mind of a consumer and how exactly a consumer decides to buy certain goods and services.
You must have heard about a mosquito repellent by a brand called as Good Night. Now, this is a brand which exactly is there, which has changed, revolutionized the
Aspect of pest repellent market. That is especially Goodnight Naturals. Now, generally, the perception is that when the product, which is a chemical, which is used to drive away these insects and pests, which exactly are which basically are tormenting us when we are outside, or they may end up stinging us as mosquitoes, and we may fall sick. So we want to put certain sort of a mosquito repellent so that mosquitoes don't bite us. But the concept out here is that this type of products, which exactly are chemicals, they can be harming us as well. When they can harm an animal and they would drive it away, so is it a wise move to put that sort of a chemical to our own skin and body, and keep us enveloped in it? So it's going to create some sort of a harm for us. So effectively, this was a challenge which was faced by Goodnights, and they came up with something called as Goodnight Naturals. Now I'm talking about of mosquito repellent creams. The earlier brand was Odomos, if you recall. Now, Goodnight came up with a brand called as Goodnight Natural. These are small tubes, green colored tubes. Now, Goodnight Naturals as a brand has centered on the evolving lifestyle need of consumers. The prevailing attitude among consumers has always been as a reference point. The recent trend of natural being better was read aptly by the brand as it maneuvered through prevailing dominant customer market sentiments of remaining close to natural products. Now, Goodnight Natural Mosquito Repellent Cream is the product that I'm right now talking about. This is enriched with natural ingredients like tulsi, it's basil, tulsi, and lavender, and offers moisturizing and skincare benefits for the environment conscious consumers. The pale green colored packaging is indicative of the product's soothing properties and proximity to nature. So this is basically going into it that this is not basically just a mosquito repellent cream, but this is a cream which is going to soothe your skin, and it is going to take care of different type of ailments. Like for example, if you've got chapped skin or if you've got dry skin, you can put it because it has the goodness of tulsi and lavender, and can also be a moisturizing and can act as a skin cream rather than just being a mosquito repellent. So effectively, you are trying to incorporate certain type of customer segments which exactly are incorporated in the different type of a product portfolio towards the offering for making a purchase decision. So I think we are going to take a small break. We're going to finish the class for now. We shall be continuing with this aspect towards the key psychological processes towards the consumer behavior in tomorrow's class. Let's sign off for the day. The attendance is auto downloaded, so there's no problem for that. Um, if you have any sort of a doubt, query, or suggestion that you want to make at this point in the context of the aspects that we've discussed, you may. Otherwise, we can call off the meeting. We had to continue because of a small break in connectivity that happened. That is the reason we had to extend this meeting another about 5 to 7 or 10 minutes per se. So if there is any suggestive inputs, I'm open for it. Otherwise, we can call it off a day and we can resume the session tomorrow. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the session. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.